Oh, so please, it's got a, I wasn't expecting this. Hey guys, been so long. It's kind of moody. Hey, hey, hey. I don't know. It's like I'm in a movie. I didn't put no filter on it though. I didn't put no other than my regular filter. Things have changed over here on the TikTok. They even banned TikTok down in Wisconsin or what have you. So things are changing. Things are on the horizon and things are changing. What is going on with you guys? Can you hear me good? Double tap the screen if you can hear me good. I hope you can. I have the phone set up in a certain type of way. Hey, 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 let's talk about the things. It's been a while. It's been a while since we sat and talked about the things, okay? But y'all can hear me good, good. Thank you. Thank ya for letting me know. Welcome to the people in the room. It's your boy London Kelly, where we talk about any and everything relationships, celebrities, world news. You know, we like to get into it all. World news from an iconically psychotic worldview. Iconically psychotic YouTube. Check out the link in my bio. I'm not exactly sure where to start. I'm not exactly sure where to start. Do somebody get just somebody let me just somebody throw out something and I'll start there and we'll get the ball rolling. Just somebody throw out something and I'll start there. The Met Gala, the Met Gala in Cannes. I don't want to start there, but that was just on my heart. In a sense that people really came out. I really enjoyed some of the looks that the people wore to the Met Gala and Cannes Film. Oh, please contact us. TikTok support. How? What y'all want me to do? Send the email? Send the email. Are we friends? Can I send you a DM? I hope it's exciting news. Shout out to TikTok support. Um, the looks really came. They really came through on a much lighter note than all the other things that are going on. The looks came through. Oh, do I? I don't have it on. What you call it? Do I? Settings. 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 Comment settings. I'm allowing all the comments. Um, the much lighter thing than everything else that I want to talk about, or that has been going on. Sickening looks. Viola Davis looked terrible at the Met Gala, but she looked fabulous. She looked absolutely fabulous in Cannes. Can. Con and can your cons, what have you. Um, Nobody threw anything out. Let me tell you this: I watched the what you call it yesterday, Anna Nicole Smith documentary. Did you guys watch that? That was very nothing too new. There wasn't anything there that I hadn't heard before. Um, you should. It was a good. It was. There wasn't too much there that I wasn't privy to prior. Some there was. It was a good watch. There were bombs dropped that I did not expect.
Tried the wedding filter.
There were bombs dropped that I did not expect, and which I enjoyed because when I watch something like that, I want to hear some news. Obviously, you guys know you've been on my page. You know I'd be into the news. So when I watch a documentary like that that's taken so long to come out, or they make this big hubbub about it, I would love to watch something that has information in it that I don't know. And there were a couple nuggets that were dropped in there that I didn't know, which was really nice about it was the timeline in which everything played out, they said. But the story is of just another, you know, uh, 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 an exaggerated story with a tragic end, you know, and that's kind of really the crux of it. Anna Nicole Smith, welcome Berenda Felder. Hey, welcome. Um, that's the crux of it. A white woman gets famous salaciously, and then it goes through these whirlwind traumatic events, and she becomes this staple in pop culture, and then she dies. And not even a specifically white woman, but sometimes they tend to go down that avenue of tawdry, scandalicious activity. You know what I mean? Um, Gold digging, even. You know what I mean? And that type of behavior, women getting over and taking advantage, and it's not even taking advantage because some men like to be taken advantage of. It's just the way the world works, and that type of behavior has been going on for years and years and years, and years and years and years and years, right? But it seems like when these kind of stories come out about these pop divas, it really becomes their identity, that they are this type of person that seeks out this type of situation, and they don't really know anything else. Even in court, that they showed her in court talk, they had J. Howard Marshall, his son, Clarence or something, I think his name was Clarence, something like that. His lawyer, who was the one interrogating Anna Nicole, Nikki, and what other name? Her real name is other something else, Vicky Lynn. So something like that. And he was just trying to make her seem. I don't know what he was trying to make her seem, because the questions that he asked her was like, "Oh, you got any new acting classes or something like that?" And she was like, "Screw you, Terrence, whatever his name is." And then he said, after I said that, the ball started rolling. And then they cut to clips of her talking about how she needs the money to get her hair done, needs the money to do these things, needs the money to do these things. And she's kind of saying it, I wouldn't say jokingly, but as I think and look, her experiences are real to her. And her experiences in becoming a pop culture icon are real to her. And sometimes you, in your bubble, can be caught up in the actions of what is real and required of you. And then when you get outside that bubble and you say it out loud, it kind of sounds silly. So that's kind of, for my, if just from my perception, how I looked at it. As she was talking about, yeah, I need, getting her hair done. It's not cheap. It's expensive, and doing these things is not expensive. It's kind of, she was saying it, but looking up and saying it like, yeah, this kind of does sound silly, because the thing is, her whole thing is, I'm just this simple girl from Texas, or Mahia, Texas. So all of this is out of her element. So yeah, it would be a little bit joking in saying it, because yeah, saying it out loud, most people can't relate to that. And then, so in some way, the lawyer thought he was boxing her into something. And then when she lost, he said, I didn't want her to seem, she didn't lose because she was a gold digger. She lost because of who she was. Now that didn't make sense to me initially, and it still kind of don't make sense to me. But considering the ending of that documentary and listening to her mother speak about how Anna Nicole, Vicky Nikki would create this situation, hey Florida girl, would create these stories to um, describe her upbringing, her family, and things like that, which were essentially fake according to her mother and her brother, and according to her lover, her female lover. You got to watch the documentary. So when the guy says, when the attorney says, I didn't want her, she didn't lose because she was a gold digger. She lost because of who she is. It takes you to get to the end. Just like watching that Monique show, you didn't understand why she called her My Name Is Monique until the goddamn end. But it takes until you get to the end of the documentary, to the end of that Diana doc, where you might understand why that lawyer said that. Because a lawyer, a good lawyer, especially J. Howard Marshall money lawyer, ain't gonna be just saying nothing dumb like that. He gonna say things that make you go, hmm. Some things you're not gonna get till you're on your way home. So you ever heard that phrase? So that sort of thing. Either way, interesting, interesting, interesting. And then that led me into sitting there talking to with my sister, talking about, Prince Harry and Diana. And I don't know how I got on Netflix, Clarence Avant and his daughter, and things like that, Bumpy Johnson, just because of Godfather. Just my mind goes and goes and goes and goes. I'm still waiting for somebody to come now. Drop a topic, what y'all done seen, what we gonna talk about. I'm just going off the cuff. It's been a while since I've been with you guys. I just wanted to breeze over a couple things. I want to say I won't be before you long, but you know how that goes. I'm also trying to find right here on my device TikTok support. Why do TikTok support want to talk to me? And why they ain't send me no message? Okay. Is y'all still there? Are we friends? Can I look up TikTok support? Or is that a fake person? TikTok support. What do I think about the Renaissance tour? Mm. Hey, Mia. Hey. TikTok support.
Also, if you guys want to know what it's like.
No, I don't. I don't see it. The Renaissance tour. First of all, if you're a part of the collective, you know I told y'all Beyonce she cutting out all that dancing. She not about to be like she did with Ashley and them up there. She not doing that no more. She done recruited. I don't want to get suspended, but she done recruited the LGBTQIA LMNOP community to do the dancing for her. And as one of my good friends just pointed out after getting off the conversation with him, he said the Renaissance album shining a light and bringing some recognition and support and everything to the LGBT LMNOP, and also culturally inclusive and encouraging. We bring in Kevin Aviance, T.S. Madison, Big Frida, my auntie Charles, or whatever. Those sorts of things. But there are no dark skin dancers. So I don't know. The best thing about that so far is that wig. Now, if that Miss Carter World Tour wigs, first of all, Beyonce, somebody tag Beyonce in here now, because that hair care product line, she knows she need me in the commercials, because I done been everywhere talking about that wig. So I need to be in the product line commercial, or give me the things so I could promote it. And that's all I need for the rest of my life, let me tell you, because I don't need much. Okay? I don't need much. But me saying these things might not get it. But you got to keep it real with the people. That wig is the best thing I've seen. And them costumes are pretty sickening. Thank you, Mia. The costumes are pretty sickening too. Unique. You don't really see her anything like that. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna say that because Beyonce might be in here. Would she look her best on them tours? Okay, she get them custom made outfits from Balmain and D&G and all of them. They really put the outfits together for her, and she really has a good look. And I think it's a really cohesive look with the dancers and everything like that. Very futuristic, which I like. That wig again is flowing and it's moving in that color, and it's just everything. Shout out to Neil Farina on that. That wig is everything. Her face is sitting, so everything is everything is where it needs to be. I think it's Etienne on the makeup for the tour. Absolutely stunning. Now, is she out there dancing? Yes, Rich and Skin. It's been a while. Hello, beautiful. I'm glad you in here. Somebody asked how I felt about the Renaissance tour. And you know, it's really yeah, thank you, Auntie Ayla, Auntie Ayla. Thank you. Not a song win. It's a wig probably sewed the hell down. But no. The thing about Beyonce, and it's the same thing with Kim, and I've said this. They wear the same types of wigs, different in price, different vendors, but it's the same wig. Half cap, not even half caps. They're wigs that start about an inch behind the hairline. Every time you see Kim Zolciak, you're gonna see a little dot. Is the hair is giving, okay? You're gonna see a little space in her part, and then you'll just notice that space, and it's the rest of her hair. Beyonce is the same thing. Beyonce pays for that space to be a little bit flatter. Everything's custom sized for her. Like there ain't nobody just throwing on that wig, and it's not gonna fit. That's custom made for her. It's full lace ventilation throughout. Okay. Hey Stace, what's up, cuz? Um, Custom ventilation. That coloring, Rita Hazan on the color, is out of this world. To color her hair to match the rest is just really a work of art, and you really have to appreciate hair to appreciate that. That wig is everything. Everywhere and nowhere at all. Now Beyonce having a wig line now, that's a business understatement. Now not a wig line, because that's wish she could. First of all, she's not gonna be behind anything. And like somebody said when they talk about her doing these hair care products, first of all, I love you, Beyonce. If you in here watching, Tina, I love you. But you know, I got to be honest, and I'm sure you can appreciate honesty. So the thing is, somebody they put it up there and it said Beyonce only talked to us when she want us to buy, when she want our money, and now she's coming out with this, apparently coming out with this hair care line. I don't know. She was holding. Now that's the thing too. If y'all want to know about Beyonce's real hair, it is in that picture, which is inside. We've never seen a closet. I don't really like closets with them doors on it like that, but I guess it's clean. But I've never seen a picture like that. I'm sure that's one of her many homes. I don't know if that's the LA home, could be the Paris home, could be the Dubai Saint Tropez, who knows. But never seen her in that type of element before. So that was nice to see. Her sitting in that big ass fucking vanity mirror with that wand curler in her hair, that is all Beyonce's hair. Every inch, no filler, no wig assist. That is Beyonce's hair. The only reason she doesn't wear her hair on um tour is to move it and things like that. If you wear hair, you know, I'm not going to be curling my real hair like this. I'm not coloring my real hair like this, that wear and tear on it, because I want my hair to be healthy, because Beyonce's hair is still that long. So I don't know with that picture if she's gonna, but then you know, like you got the Mayels, and then Rihanna has made the trademarks for Fenty Baby, Fenty hair. So I don't know what her products are going to be, as far as like, is she going to have the wand curlers, which I think would be sickening, as opposed to products, because there's so many products out there. So if she's got the wand curlers coming, that would be sickening. If she's going to have flat irons coming, that would be sickening. That shit is going to sell the fuck out. It's not even going to be no question, comma, concern. And that's why somebody tagged Beyonce in here again. That's why I need Beyonce, because listen, I talked about the wig and it went everywhere. Okay, viral. So I could do the same thing for her wig hair. Now, if I drop my hair, it might make more sense. But y'all know what I'm working with up under here. Should I let it? Because every time my hair is down, people talk about the hair, and they don't talk about the other things. Well, I should say the hair takes over, even though we always talk about the stuff. Yeah, when she won our coins, I remember when Tina tried to show us her hair. She did well the one time, because she was standing up and Tina was doing something extra. And Beyonce was like, "Mama, calm down," or something like that. It's right to a crisp, especially because of the color, because her hair is light. The thing is like this front part. just this 1 inch front part that's her hair, colored to a T, blended nicely. You know what I'm saying, so that you can't tell the difference. And if you don't know for what you're looking for, you're not gonna see it. But the front parts be colored. Her whole hair is colored blonde, brown, brunette. Not brunette, but honey blonde, things like that. But the constant, and then to be whipping it back and forth and stuff like that, you know how your hair gets. And my scalp's gonna sweat, things gonna frizz up. We don't need that. Yes. So things like that. Now Beyonce got here making our money. Like back to the tour. I said this before. She's not going to be doing all that dancing anymore. Whether it's her elevation of her career, elevation of her as an artist, or whether it's just the fact that I have 3 kids and I just don't feel like doing this anymore. You know what I'm saying? Doing this like that. I no longer have to do this like that because I can employ the LGBTQIA LMNOP, or I can employ some dancers from the places and the things like that, some fans, some TikTokers and things like that to come up here and do these things. And I don't have to do all of that. All I have to do is look good, wear a good wig, sit this face right, and sing the damn songs. I mean, as she should. Like, I had no problem with that. When I made the statement about her not dancing, Beyonce gave us some good dances. She's given us some iconic movements, some iconic videos. Well, Ashley's doing her own thing. I've been following Ashley probably as long as I've had to. Ashley probably one of the first people I started following on Instagram. And thank you guys for the like. Shout out to you guys. Um and Ashley is doing her own thing. She should be having some kids soon or something, but she's career driven, and getting into her own brand deals and things like that with makeup, hair, and stuff like that. And I'm sure she's still doing the dancing and then some acting too. So, doing her own thing as she should. I mean, she was with Beyonce a decade or so. And everybody moves on, and that's just growth. That's just growth and giving new opportunities. She's not up on the stage, but who knows if she always was dance captain. So who knows if she's still um, choreographing and advising and things like that. Giving a show. And that she giving the show, maybe that's where the images is, the visuals. And now we done been, it'll be almost a year in 3 months. Now, I didn't watch all of Swarm. June, July, August. In 3 months, it'll be a year. We ain't got a piece of a visual yet, other than fucking Angela White is in Church Girl, and there's a cross involved. So what is that about? And I didn't watch all of Swarm. And even if Swarm is not about Beyonce, Swarm was a depiction as far as like the whole fangirl and the standing. And before it was a beehive, it was a stand. You know what I mean? From Eminem. So it's that type of culture that is perpetuated, and some of us subscribe to it and some of us don't subscribe to it. But it's definitely the nature and the character of some people out there um, that tend to ride so hard and die so hard for things that really don't ultimately benefit them. The thing, you spend the money on the Beyonce tickets, and then maybe you got it to spend frivolously. But even if you had it frivolously to spend, imagine what you could do with it intentionally. Now, if she joins the U.S. leg of the tour, I wouldn't. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. But like I said, because she does her own thing, even with even with the people that her glam team that she swaps out, you know what I'm saying, and things like that, from Jawar and the stylists and Sir John and Etienne and Kim Kimball, you know what I'm saying, the circuit rotate those people because everybody's all doing their own thing. So lock them down for this month and lock them down for these months and things like that. Now let me tell y'all something, Rich and Skin, about this DNA. Did we not discuss this? Did I not do the video last year? Did I not do that video last year talking about Jay-Z and them kids? Did I not do that? And they put the people on to the fact that he even had these kids, put the people on notice that these types of things was going on in their marriage. And now here we are at the top of her going on this tour. This whole thing about Ramir Satterwhite coming out trying to take this thing to the Supreme Court. Coincidence? I think not. I think not. And let me tell you this too. Him, um, Brian McKnight, obviously the skerfuffle and the confusion of the Nick Cannon ship of it all. And then I even want to throw in the fact that this dysfunction in black homes with the fathers. And then I even want to pepper in there the Robert De Niro situation with him having his kid at 79. With I think my friend was telling me how she might be Blasian, but there's still some black in there. Robert De Niro likes his melanin. So that sort of thing, where it's just this thing about the fathers, and even Charles and William, or Charles and Harry more specifically. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Whatever. Things about fathers that is all of this is going on. So all of that is really convenient timing. You know what I mean? Considering, like, for my situation, my thought about the Jay-Z thing, like I talked about that last year. That's been a thing that's been going on. And still there was no mention or even trying to take that. Not to say I was a catalyst in that. Could be. I don't think so. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe that's why TikTok wants to reach out to me. I don't know. But um the timing of all of that stuff is not so coincidental. And the fact that they're taking it to the Supreme Court, that's like final. And there's no way, regardless, and that's the story. Oh, the condom broke, whatever the case may be. The condom broke. She was underage. It's just, or maybe the first daughter, because there's an older girl, and then there's Ramir, and then there's that Turks and Caicos baby. Not Turks and Caicos, Trinidad and Tobago. I know it was that sort of thing. The Trinidadian baby. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Blue, Rumi, Sir. And then they said Hakeem is his son with Free. I just don't, this is the news. And none of that is old. None of that is old stuff. None of that is new stuff. It's all old stuff. Very vintage tea. And now we're at this point now where Ramira's old enough. Most of the kids, like the youngest, that boy in Trinidad and Tobago, got to be 12, 13, 14, 15, if not older, because I think Beyonce's siblings is like 12, 13, 14. That girl Ori or something, and the son Maxwell. I might be getting those names wrong, but the kids are older. And I guess there was a report that they had no interest, Solange or Beyonce got no interest in meeting those kids. Um, I see both sides of that. I see both sides of that. That is not my argument, because if they do, they do, and if they don't, they don't. So that's that. Let those families do what they do with that situation. But as far as Jay-Z and his kid, Ramir Satterwhite, it's been a long time coming. And he has probably, and that's the thing too, the timing of it all, probably avoided taking that appointment with the Supreme Court and answering that docket, you know what I'm saying, that sort of thing, because it takes, that whole thing will take one day. It will take one day to figure out if that man is that man's daddy. That's it. And the fact that it hasn't been done is really the biggest thing that really puts Jay-Z in quite the pickle. And everything is really, shit is coming to the light, and really some things are really crumbling. Things are crumbling. We are in a crumblage. all together. And if I'm not gonna joke about Hakeem being him and Free's son, Jay-Z got 6 kids. Jay-Z got 6 kids. And at the same time, if you think about it, y'all know men, y'all know women, whatever. People be out here living their lives and doing their things. Jay-Z was living his life and doing his thing, traveling up along the not the Amalfi Coast, but the northern East Shore. You know, back in the day, between D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, um, Jersey, Harlem, Queens. You know what I'm saying? He was just up and along the things, and that's where those baby mothers sit, along the northern eastern shore. So it's not really far fetched to think that that's a possibility. And then if the son comes out and says, "Oh, you my daddy," but regardless of the fact that we got the same shaped face, regardless of the fact that we got the same nose, regardless of the fact that we got the same mouth, regardless of the fact that we both rap, if that's not my kid, then I'm gonna do what I need, because I don't need this coming back up on me in the future unless I do. Leave this coming back up on me in the future because I am on this path. So he has alleviated addressing that and answering that, taking any responsibility for that for 20 years, which is kind of problematic. It's very problematic. So now when the Supreme Court says, yes, we need you to come in, yes, we need you to spit, piss, and we're going to take a piece of your hair from your nose, then what? Now Beyonce looks like what? Well, now she looks like people don't listen to the music because she said it. You bring 3 kids into my home and into me, myself, and I song. And what they've always said, their stories be in the music. My baby father, bloodline Rwanda. I got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chains. And those are very, very superficial verses. I don't get into the verses unless I'm in the moment. I don't recall things like I used to. But it's very, it's very much so that. No, he definitely does. I don't believe nothing, any of them. They are liars. And that goes back into what I was just saying, how I started today. Anna Nicole Smith, the stories that she fabricated, um, the stories that she created, the lies that were fabricated to appeal to people. The fact that, and that's what I say to you guys too. Now, if I came on here, even shared maybe I don't, because my story's not sad. It's, I don't know what it is. But if I came on here crying and did the things and this is this and this is that, and woe is me, or this is the struggle, screw the parents, or you know what I'm saying, that sort of thing, will probably get the reaction because that's what people subscribe to. So essentially, that's what Anna Nicole Smith did, and now Jay Z, which is everybody's different, but the formula is the same. Jay Z coming up the way that he was coming up, and the trajectory of his career to go from, like I said in my June Ambrose video, to go from the rapper in the baggy jeans and Timbs to morph into the Tom Ford tailored suit. That was his trajectory. Putting that type of baby daddy-ness on him early on would have kind of deterred him from that trajectory. One, because people would probably pay more attention to what the fuck he was saying and that he's not really the greatest rapper alive. But if you're clean and pristine and everyone around you is successful and you are successful, then you just carry on in that realm of success without being scared. Because other than him screwing people and superheads like this dick in the car or this, like that's whatever humdrum stuff. But if you're out here and you're not taking care of your responsibilities, you're losing the love of the women that everybody knows. Women fuel everything. You're losing the love and the support of the women that you need. Then you marry Beyonce. Now you lock the fuck in. And now with this. And now we're gonna have to feel. So I'm not gonna feel no way because I've been told y'all. But some way you're gonna have to feel about Beyonce after all of this, and oh, woe is her, and then whatever. Then and then I don't know. The visuals will come out. I don't know how all of that's gonna do. Assassin's Creed. I am here. Thank you. How are you? I hope you're well in here. Well, you're here. I hope you're well. So that sort of thing. And back to Anna Nicole, I don't know if y'all been seeing Danny Lynn, her daughter, look just like her. If you put her in the right hair, if you put her in the right look, that is Anna Nicole Smith, without a doubt, reincarnated in the flesh, even. Okay? She goes to these Kentucky Derbies. That damn dad of hers take her to Kentucky Derby every year. Parades her around to what degree? I don't know. To what avail? I'm not sure. But considering that came out this year, that documentary and things have been going on, and I think, let me just see how old she is. Um, in Burkett. Child model, they say. She's 16. Yep, thank you, Choosy. 16 years old. This about that time. It's about that time. And I'm thinking this Halloween she might do some type of ode to her mother, considering the things, you know. And that's now we're just talking about timing of things. We just talking about the time, because really, even though we love Anna Nicole, the thing is, we love Anna Nicole so much. I don't know if we. I know I do. Did do. And that Anna Nicole documentary, even the Marilyn Monroe documentary, is things you put on Netflix at the top, because those are the things that'll bring it in, that'll bring the people in. Or y'all talk about the people that we love and the people, fleshing out these stories and things like that. But to drop them in such strategic moments is where it takes the organic authenticity out of it. And it's like, okay, so why am I watching? Why are we pushing this narrative? What is the meaning behind all of this? But like I said, Danny Lynn, 16. Kylie was screwing Tyga at 16. I'm just saying. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying. Oh, last day to work week. Good, good, good for you. Hopefully you have an amazing weekend. It not even humble. You just gonna hit us with that choosy like just like that? If you like Beyonce, you drank the Kool-Aid. Let me tell you, I drank the Kool-Aid for a long time. Beyonce was a part of my formulative years. You know what I'm saying? I was graduating, well, Destiny's Child and all of that. So just grew up. And then she started to go. She went solo as I was out of high school, clubbing to no end. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to her, dressing up as her, doing the things, doing the dances like her, just doing the things. So I was making the Kool-Aid at that point in time. Okay, and then I'm not exactly sure what it was, and I probably could, but I'd have to think about it. There was just like this. There was a moment. There was a performance. There was an interview. There was more enlightening that I gained post 2012, maybe 2011, 2012. Um, no, not even that late, because 2008 Single Ladies was out. If there was something between 2008 and 2012, with 4 years, I had started to like see things and be more aware, be more cautious of her symbolism and her imagery, and just the fact that she didn't really come out to connect with people, with fans, other than like touring or being performing, and what I'm saying, that's at an award show. And those types of things started to influence my from it went from me making the Kool-Aid to me just taking a little shot to me being good on the whole set after all. And then just respecting her for the fact that, of course you're gonna make the bops, because that's just how music is crafted, that's how music is created. And that's all I was expecting from her. Um and then, now it's just this, I, listen, because when, what you call it, Black is King, child, When that Black is King imagery came out, I was like, oh, this is exactly this is everything that I knew it was about to be. This is everything that she is, and these are the things that people will even overlook in this plain imagery to say that she's not. So yeah, that's been my roller coaster with Queen Bee. King Papa, what is you saying? King Tiny's King? Larry Burkhead was a crafty individual. Crafty individual. I don't know with Anna being with Anna being a crafty individual and Larry being a crafty individual. I don't know. You're like, who's the fault? Who's the fault? He do seem weird in pictures. Because he just don't seem together and buttoned up. He's still wearing the hair from Anna died 2008, and I think she been dead. That sort of thing. So the image is kind of weird, but yeah, she born in September. The brother, she was born in 2000. She died in 2007. Um, we gonna see Danny Lynn and Blue Ivy together or something, something, and he's always been weird. He just don't seem buttoned up. He just don't seem like he's ever come out of the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's still stuck in that place. And to have this, I don't want to call her an artifact, but to have this reincarnation of this woman in your possession, and that's where we're at with it. We're talking like that because it's not like he's wants to shield her from fame because he wouldn't take her to the fucking Kentucky Derby. You go to the Kentucky Derby, you're gonna be if Anna Nicole Smith's daughter go to the Kentucky Derby, people are gonna take pictures of her. The thing is, we never see pictures of her any other time. You know what I mean? So it's very controlled how he wants to be seen or what images want to be put out of her. And at the same time, too, and then last year at the Kentucky Derby is when she took the picture with Janet Jackson. And the thing is, she is in these makeshift, very tacky, even ensembles when I know for sure she could reach out. Danny Lynn, fucking Nicole, and Danny Lynn Smith to reach out to any designer and be like, I'm going here. I just need a little something, a little black dress for something. Dolce & Gabbana, Versace. Gonna dress the hell out of that little girl. And they gonna get the best hair and makeup on her because that's Anna Nicole Smith's daughter. Now, if that's not what they doing, that goes back into what they were saying in the documentary about she lost all her grace and connections when J. Howard Marshall died. I don't know. It seemed like Anna Nicole still had love in the streets. And if we're gonna bring Kanye West into the conversation, he is gonna he brings in the girls or associates himself with the girls that don't fare well in the industry and kind of sit or are kind of looked at with a side eye. Stacey Dash, Anna Nicole Smith, Kim Kardashian, Amber Rose, even Julia Uncut Gems, and this new wife. So what does that say about Kim? Moving on. Rich and Skin music changed, Papa. It did. When she partied with Destiny's Child, she had perfect timing. When she parted with Destiny's Child, she had perfect timing. Yeah. Another unpopular opinion. What are your unpopular opinions? Maybe I used to drink the Kool Aid, but is she use her back when it suits her. The thing is, we are all descendants of slaves in some degree. Enslaved people, slaves, whatever. To some degree. Because slavery happened in many cultures. There's that. But being, and I'm gonna bring other people into this, being a figurehead of the black culture and just merely appropriating the culture because of necessity or requirement, that is what I have a problem with. If that's what Beyonce's doing, I have a problem with that. That is what Drake does. I have a problem with that. Mary Edwards, welcome. I can't believe T.I. don't see that in his son, and he might. But that's the thing about it. T.I. was not the one. Tiny was the one. So he was going to do what she needed to make it make sense so that he could be indubitably, as stupid, you know? And whatever his career is now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what degree of success or fame essentially Ti would have if he hadn't been hitched to Tiny. Hey friend, what's up, Liv? I read Charlemagne's book, the one where he's sitting in the chair, Black something, and he talks about Ti coming up, and when he was hitting the circuit doing the radio and stuff. But it wasn't until like it was Ti and Tiny, you know what I mean, and then Ti blew up and whatever. At least from my, my view is mainstream. I'm not a very much so underground person, and to credit the underground, that is where some of the greatest talent is. I'm doing good, love. Thank you so much. They're so rude. Um, the not you, Liv. I was looking at a comment or a thing, but underground is where some of the greatest talent lives. But there is a line they don't cross. There are situations. Hey, my love, Natasha, my girl. There are things they won't do, and then they stay in the underground. You know what I mean? Ti is like, Tiny. We got this girl. Y'all look good together. It'll be whatever it's gonna be. She already got this kid from Jermaine Dupri, and I'm just hearing that today. I have to look into that, and for months, probably since I started doing vintage tea and things like that, Jermaine Dupri has been at the top of my list. One day it just hit me. It was like, where the fuck did Jermaine Dupri come from? Hosting shows. Now Charlemagne none of them. Hosting shows. Hosting talent. I want to say talent shows, but like A&R sets because of his father at 10 years old. That sort of thing. So we'll get into Jermaine Dupri shortly, eventually. And now Charlemagne. The thing about Charlemagne is that somebody who was underground and then took the opportunity, because once Wendy, and now it got to be Kevin, because Kevin is from Canada. So whatever his influence is, whatever his connections were, Kelvin, whatever his connections were to allow him to come to New York and establish the way that he established himself, and then bring other people into the fold and bring them into an element of success, that is something to be taken notice of. To then take his success, Charlemagne, and kick the Williams Hunter clan to the side to further his success, and then at the same time, with his mentor being in the situation that she's in. Now, granted he had many mentors, and when he says he plays it down, he says I was only with her for 2 years or something like that. You weren't anybody until you did those 2 years with Wendy. You weren't anybody noticeable, recognizable, or valuable until you did those 2 years with Wendy. So you can never play that down. And now we're here in a point where he has leveraged his loyalty to the industry and his willingness to play down his relationship with Wendy Williams into mass success as shows and podcasts and things and books and things like that. That's the industry. That's the game. You know? And that is what it all is. That's what it all is. Whether T.I. is taking on somebody else's kid, or whether Charlamagne's talk about how his mentor didn't. Oh, if it weren't for her, would nobody know your name? You'd still be discolored in the Bible Belt, or not the Bible Belt, because he did go down over that way, but down in Monk's Corner on the Eastern Shore. Mona Scott need to have a special memorial just for Jermaine T.I. Tiny Auntie. Now Mona Scott would be the one. Or well, they might get Karama to do it because they're trying to get Karama to do the people. This, your skin's uneven. But I do think Charlamagne's handsome. But that don't have nothing to do with nothing. If he's watching, Charlamagne do be watching because he be listening to he be using my phrases and saying my lines. And I'm not clout chasing. I'm stating the obvious. So there's that with that. You see how we just go on with the topics and the things, and one thing leads to using that white niches. And that's what he said. That white niches. He said that in the book. I read Charlamagne's book just because, like I said, I'm interested in Charlamagne. I'm interested from Charlamagne's male perspective in his coming up in the way that he did, what led him to be with Wendy Williams, and how did he handle all. I'm interested in that because I could see myself doing something like that. So I read the book for that point, from that for that perspective. And he talks about his skin and things like that. But he's always been a clown. And the clown found a place, and the clown gonna do anything in the circus. One of the girls. I agree, Aaliyah. Big purr, okay? Because then when he be with that white guy on them podcasts, and he be like, oh, who's top, who's the bottom, who's sucking, all that stuff. It's just like, now if Pornhub pays Charlamagne and Joe Budden, but I'm not here for that, and we're not here talking about that. But so that's that, and that's that with them. Let's talk about the Royals. Not the TV show The Royals, but the real, actual, factual Royals. Did y'all watch the TV show The Royals? Let's talk about the Royals. Let's start with The Crown. Did y'all watch The Crown on Netflix? If y'all don't, I feel like y'all my people, and I feel like y'all would watch The Crown on Netflix. In this latest season, I think this is season 6. And love The Crown. I love The Crown from the first episode, first season. Love the way they tell the story. Love the way that those actors and actresses are so committed. Okay, I love it. This latest season is focused on Diana and the disillusion of her marriage. I will post this on my YouTube channel. I sure will. So authentic, right? The dissolution of her marriage from Charles as a cause of Camilla. It's not even, it's Charles's fault. And Camilla was just they and Camilla is just there. Willing. She's a willing participant is what Camilla was. She from what it plays out, and what I would say is that there's a good percentage of what is depicted that's accurate. But there is that other percentage, the other side of the coin that has to be made romantic or romanticized or even dulled a little bit to make it for TV. Because I don't think the Queen was soft spoken and things and oh mummy and all of, I would assume that she was a tyrant. She was a person who is so constricted and restricted and regimented that I don't even think she allowed for that type of emotional accessibility or anything like that. The way she would, when they depict her talking with the prime ministers and things like that, is I feel like how she talked to all of them. Because if I stay this way, I don't have to be any other way with anybody else. I don't have to do anything else. And maybe when she gets with the kids, not the kids, but when she gets with those women and they, whatever the case may be, I don't know. I don't know. But even in this last season, they're focused on Britannia, the yacht, and the Diana and them. But I think it was her doctor, and the doctor was like, what's your favorite home? And she was like, that's a very personal question, and it's like, that sort of thing. So I don't know. There are some ways the story is, like I said, the way the story is depicted, the way the story is told, I feel like is extremely accurate. But there are behaviors that I think that were probably a bit more strict than what they showed in the documentary. That, what did y'all say? Because I don't want to have to go back. Because y'all in the comments, I'm so thankful, and thank y'all for the likes. And then Charles with the hands, they're really making a thing about that. And that's the thing. Charles was always in love with Camilla. Charles was in love with Camilla because Camilla probably reminded him of his mother. Because for her to know and to witness all those things, and probably no more than what they would let the media lets on, that she knew, to have witnessed Diana firsthand, to have witnessed how Diana was killed, to have witnessed the things that the family did, and then to still accept the role. That's like next level. That's like next level. That's like next level love. That's like next level denial. That's like next level behavior. And now she's a fucking queen. She's a queen. She's your queen to be. I can't get it. But yeah, so that's the thing. Now, what symbolizes with B, what symbolizes, what are we saying here, Kiki Kinks? What symbolizes with B is K? And now this is why I brought it up, Natasha, the Royals. Because, well, this is what I'm saying. Because this is what I'm saying. So this new season, because it's 6 seasons, so that's about 6 years. You know how Netflix do. They don't put out 2 seasons of nothing in a year. Maybe Working Moms. Y'all like Working Moms too? But either way, so the Royals, you got to wait for that. Because they do their due diligence, and they are getting the information from the people they need to get their information from. And something like Netflix, and if they so, which they made a big deal about this season, was BBC. And at this point, Netflix and BBC, or BBC and entertainment news, is synonymous. You know what I'm saying? So it's about the right connections. And over the course of 30, 40, 50 years, I'm sure people have, weaved in and weaved out and maintained and back channeled and all that stuff. So they do their due diligence. It's about Diana, dissolution of the marriage, her relationship with her children, specifically her relationship with William. Not with Harry. That was not showed. But the idea, or the view, was that when William became of age, he started to do noble things. He started to go to the schools. He started to get the lessons. He started to take the practices. He started to know the words, the walk, the whatnots. You know what I'm saying? To become the man that he's going to become when Charles dies soon, and Camilla too. So there's that. In her relationship, she started to build and created a bond with Harry because he was the one. He's seventh in line. He was the one. Now he is. He was the one that was there because that he wasn't the one that they needed to put the emphasis on. Which, considering Elizabeth, how she became queen, you would think they put both children through the same process because it was Elizabeth's uncle, thanks to the crown. It was Elizabeth's uncle who abdicated, and his father became king, and then she ultimately became queen. So you got to prepare all the people because you never know what can happen. So there's that. She built a relationship with her son. She wanted to build a relationship with Diana, built a relationship with her son Harry, wanted to build a relationship with other people because she wasn't in the fold of the family anymore. The family did not like that. Even with her, with what they try to do in the media and whatever everything, how they try to portray her as a terrible this, that, crazy that, and everything, people still love Diana. People still love Diana, and thought, and wasn't until they officially got divorced that they would come back together and she would ultimately be queen. And then at the time in the Netflix documentary, or the Netflix original special, is that we have this ailing queen, we have this unfit king to be, and things like that. And now we have this great, beautiful presence of Diana, and she's out here in these gowns, and she's at the Met Gala, and she's a beautiful mother, and she's overshadowing the monarchy. And then what did she go and do? And I thought about this as watching it. She said, I'm not going to go black because that would just be too much. But I will entertain these Middle Eastern men. And I will even get pregnant by a Middle Eastern man. If Diana, I was about to call her Diana Ross, if Diana Wales would have had that baby with that Middle Eastern man, wouldn't nobody be talking about a Charles, a Camilla, an Elizabeth, a Philip, a William, a Kate, a Harry, a Meghan? Wouldn't be none of that. Same way if Rihanna and fucking Chris Brown had kids. Wouldn't nobody be talking about a Jay-Z, a Beyonce, a Rumi, a Ramir? Catch that T. Wouldn't nobody be talking about it. It would talk about shifting the paradigm. It would completely shift the paradigm. So now what they do? They got rid of that. And at that same time, when they sitting there trying to get the queen out because they think she's weak and feeble, but then this story comes out, Diana's dead, she may be behind it. It's coincidental. But at the same time, now the people fear the monarch because she's capable. And now, what is the resurgence of love and support and adoration? Now, all hail the queen means a little bit more because she just might. No? I don't know. So now, with that, Harry having a relationship with his mother that he had, her dying the way that she did, let me tell you something what Harry probably did. And if he don't, then that's the deeper thing. But let me tell you something. Harry knowing what his mother went through and dying the way that she did, it's no way Harry don't drive, especially now with his wife and his family, with 3, 4, 5 cars minimum. Making sure that something like that don't happen. Driving so close that a motorcycle can't weave its way through, or cars being checked to the max, other than being probably bulletproof, ain't too much probably smart function going on in the damn cars. I don't know. Probably it's the time everything's smart. Okay, but he is too much experience in there for them to just want to take a willy-nilly drive or anything like that, especially in a city like New York. Now, if they was on some high speed chase, some high speed, death defying, traumatic, and that's not the right word, some words they use, almost killed them apparently in New York City. Now, if you've never been in New York City, maybe you don't know, but you've seen shows. And the one thing you know about New York City is there's plenty of taxis and plenty of beeping and plenty of traffic. So please tell me how y'all did that. And thanks to Megyn Kelly for her to say it. I've been living in New York City 17, that's what she said. I've been living in New York City 17 years. And I can tell you, there is no possible way that you go on a death-defying chase for 2 years, for 2 hours in New York City. There's absolutely no. Now y'all could scoot and scoot and scoot and scoot, but at that time, now we talk about we talk about Prince, we talk about royalty, we talk about real people, we're talking about tangible people that can make some shit happen. If we on a high speed chase and I take a left on bleaker and coming off the thing, I can I can intervene. I can make the police are there to intervene on. You know what I'm saying? So for it to go on for that amount of time doesn't make sense. For it to go on in New York at all, it would be unprecedented. And what is also unprecedented is that it went on in New York City and there's no footage. Now we just talking about a story. Now let's liken that back to Designer. First, Designer's on the plane and is indecently exposing himself. First, he just showed his penis. Now he's going through a healthcare thing. Then the story develops. Now he's masturbating on a plane. How do we go from indecent exposure of just showing the penis to now he's masturbating on the plane? Because off the rip, what he did was he was masturbating. He pulled it out, and that was that. There's no point in saying indecent exposure that he just showed his penis because the action of him masturbating was that's the story. No need to long draw it out, but we also know they like to long draw it out because Shanquella Robinson. Well, we might get there. But when they said Designer first show his penis and there was no picture of it, I didn't believe it. Because the first thing somebody gonna do is get a damn picture. I would like to see it. Secondly, then when it came out that he didn't have, that it was masturbating anything, and there was still no picture. Now this is a coup. We want people to go, again, mental health, which is trendy. Whatever the thing is with Designer, playing along, being a clown. And whatever else his timing was to even be a part of the news cycle that week, that's what all that was. And I made a comment on one of them posts on Instagram, and the girl was like, sometimes we don't need the pictures and all that stuff to exploit. And it's not even about the exploit, because if there's no facts in the industry, if there is no proof, it did not happen. You can tell anybody anything, just like Dave Chappelle. And that's what I said. It's a Dave Chappelle situation, but he took the bait. They wanted Dave Chappelle to do this, do that. They was putting it out, and he was like, this is not where I'm at. This is not how I'm doing, and this is not what's going on. So he left. And then he came back and did all the same things. So I don't know, him and Monique doing the same thing. But that's the industry. But that's that sort of thing. Now we done put this man to put on this thing, because if he is indecently exposing himself on a plane, I'm sure was at least one kid on the plane. So regardless of him, and then they're going to bring it back to Antonio Brown. So regardless of him needing mental health, he is now a sex offender. He's now registered wherever he is because he's been violated himself in front of, or, exposed himself in front of these kids, right? Just like Antonio Brown being in Dubai on that rooftop pool and exposing himself there, which you're not supposed to do in Dubai. So whether he's sitting there turning off white women sitting up there, you are in violation of the state law and you should be put in jail. But that's not what happened. So what are the situations that we're working with here? Same thing. We ain't got no chase of Harry. Show me it happened. Yeah, Black is King. The whole thing is symbolism from the front to close the soul. Hey, girl, hey. The whole thing is symbolism. Catastrophic, yes, was the word they was using. First of all of this after the coronation, you know what I'm saying? There's just no coincidence. They've been floating about our country, for months. Stayed down, bunkered down at the damn Perry compound. Then they bought a Montecito mansion around the corner from Oprah. They've been all about the country. And then they get to New York, and let me tell you, and that's what I feel. That's what I think about assassination. And I think it's a Will Smith movie. He's a killer. I don't think it's After Earth. I don't know. And it might not be Will Smith, but maybe y'all could tell me. But there's a scene in the movie. It's one of the first scenes. He has to kill somebody. He is miles away, and he kills the person on the train as the train's moving. American Sniper. He was a trained assassin. From miles away, he could hit his target without question. If people hated Donald Trump, if people hated Barack Obama, if people hated, and I'm not, you know, I don't condone violence, and I definitely don't support assassination. But if people hated Megan Trainor, McCain, the Stallion, if people hated her, she's walking out of NBC building, she's walking out of her thing. The people are, and I say that to say when it happens, it's supposed to like there was a less. There's something deeper behind it, i.e., JFK. There's absolutely no way a catastrophic car chase ensues in the streets of New York. First of all, you in your black truck, and without it, first of all, you don't have to worry about the left and the right. And if they didn't say nothing about motorcycles or fucking scooters, there's nobody else getting next to the car. So they in their black truck, I'm sure is bulletproof. It's a black truck in front of them, and it's a black truck behind them. Who's chasing what? Who's chasing what? And you not about to tell me that the king, seven people down the line, is just rolling out all willy nilly. Because I've been bunkered down at the Perry compound, and I got a mansion in Montecito around the corner from Oprah that I feel like I could go around America. I don't know, and I'm not sure that's what his mindset is, considering how his mother died and the things that he went through in his family. Maybe in Cali, maybe right, maybe it's definitely that's what's with that's the thing. It'd be like Megan Kelly, Orlando Brown, people like that are so controversial. When they say things like that, it's like okay, but they've been discredited, or for the people are looking at them with a side eye. For her to be like, it's 17 years, like wake the fuck up. Where you think a car chase? I don't even know in history if there's been a car chase in New York City. At some point, somebody got out and they started to run because you can't go. But so, I mean, even in the boroughs, you're gonna hit something. Like it's not gonna go on. Somebody's gonna cross the street. Some ball's gonna fly across the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not. It's not what happens. And then if we're not and then now we talk about New York City, cameras everywhere, everywhere, not just paparazzi because the fucking royals are in town, but people taking pictures like they did in fucking 9/11. Cameras outside, ring door lights. Don't nobody, I haven't seen, tell me if they got some footage of the catastrophic car chase that the royals were in. And we don't need no more sympathy for Harry and Meghan. Because at the end of the day, and that's what I liked about the royals, early on, Princess Diana getting married and, early in those stages, which was all a fucking mess. But they were removed from it and had their own life. There was no need to prove anything to anybody. Because at the end of the day, Harry is seventh in line. He don't have to prove nothing to nobody because he is who he is. Or even with him coming out, and this I feel might be dramatic, but him trying to come out and find himself. No, yes, he was in a very regimented upbringing, but coupled with the support that he had from his mother, and this is who I would believe that she encouraged him, or I'm not going to put the verbiage in there, but I believe she encouraged him to seek who he was before anything else, because this is who your brother will be. And you will not be this person. So you need to find out who you are. And I would only say that because of Diana's relationships with, connecting with the people, hospitals, and I was going to say mortgages, orphanages, and things like that. I would like to think that she would instill the same type of thing inside of her parents, inside of her children. UK paparazzi, Camilla set it up. And that all of that could be true. I'm not whatever Camilla. I don't know. But look, let me tell you the thing. It's not happening in New York. Fool somebody. Get somebody else to do it because get somebody else to believe it because that's not happening in New York. And they in Manhattan. They not in no boroughs. They wasn't staying in Brooklyn. They wasn't staying in the Bronx, and they definitely wasn't staying in Jersey. And then to get all the way out there to Long Island, where they might be staying, it's you know how long it take. And then with the traffic, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. And then with the I-95, whatever them routes and roads is out there, still no footage. Still no footage. Now, if they put out some footage, I might be inclined to assess it. I might be inclined to assess it. But it just we at a point now where they can't just put something like I just said with designer that they just can't throw something out there and people just run full speed with it. We just can't be there. Well, that's why y'all come to the Kelly Collective because this is where we come and dissect the um the offerings. What else? What else is going on, y'all? Because I done been through a couple. How long? I ain't been on long. Maybe an hour, hour and 16. Um, but I said it brought up the Royals. Also, too, like I said, um, I was saying the timing of things is like the Royals been on 6 years. They, for it to fall, everything to fall the way it has fallen. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this season now focusing on Diana, the marriage, the disillusion of it, the dissolvement, disillusion. Um, the the concern, the questions, the interview that put the doubt on Charles being king. Now he's king. Now I just binge watched that after the coronation. So we're talking from the beginning of probably the end of 2022 into 2023. Now all of this is dropping and all of this is happening as it's being as the questions were rising in history at that time and being shown on the program, it's coming to pass in real life. Like that's not it's very strategic planning. No, seriously, I said that about when Jay-Z and Beyonce went to their favorite little restaurant in like Soho or something like that. People are eating outside. Even when you see there are a couple of restaurants they go to in the city, people are not looking at them like, oh my God, it's Jay-Z and Beyonce. They're not looking at them like that. One, because sometimes them people got more money than Jay-Z and Beyonce and you just don't know who they are. And two, seeing celebrities is very common in certain areas in New York City. Very common to see people walking down the street, and at the same time too, some people are not enamored by a celebrity because, like we do over here, debunk it and run it right on down. You know what I'm saying? So they're just regular people. And Camilla wants to focus on her. Let me tell you, I don't like no sneaky bitch, and I do think Camilla is probably the sneakiest bitch of them all. Um, Catch the reference. And that is what I think Charles probably liked about her. That what was drawn to her air of mystery. Like I said, that kind of mirrored the mystery that his mother had. Um, any woman in her right mind at that time shouldn't have wanted to touch Charles with a 10-foot scepter. They shouldn't have wanted to do that because your shit is in shambles. And now your wife, your baby mother is dead. Like No, Charles Rain won't be long at all. I don't know if he'll make it to the end of the year. He won't make it to the next. He won't make it to next year's Jubilee or whatever. He's not going. It's not. Mm-mm. And I'm still up on the theory about the jewels that were. And I don't. If Charles dies, then she's not queen. Is she then queen consort? Because she's not in the bloodline, and they don't have kids together. So then it would go immediately to William. I bring up the jewels. The theory of the jewels is because, as it were, when they were being stolen and the spells or incantations, whatever being put on the jewels or whatever the theory is that the jewels only belong to a female queen, obviously female queen, but a female monarch. Charles is not female, but then that takes me to William, and then he got two sons. That's what I'm saying. What you call it, seventh in line. He got two sons. So it'll be a while. It would be a lot of people to get out the way for it to be a female monarch. But I do feel like they're making a big deal about Camilla being queen. But if Charles is incapacitated but doesn't abdicate, and they don't push to in his disposal, in his removal, in his something, she would be queen. And I think she would make decisions. So that is probably where we would be going with that, with Charles being ill. Yeah, she might now. And that's the thing. Would she even be queen mother? Because them ain't her kids. But as far as the title goes, I think that would fit that. Um. So yeah, I'm even more. I'm a lot more interested. Just I don't know royalty because what you call it. I like the Egyptian royalty and all that stuff too. I was into that the royals. So that's that, and we'll see how all of that plays out. We'll see what's coming on, what comes of all of this. Excuse me, you guys. We'll see what comes of all that. Who knows where it's gonna go? Who knows how it's gonna shape up? Um, because that's the thing too. It's like who care? Listen. If Megan wasn't mixed with a black daddy, I mean a white daddy, and a black educator mother, and an actress from California by way of Compton, wouldn't nobody be talking about it? Wouldn't nobody be talking about it unless she was white as rice, and her parents were not noble. You know what I mean? Some farmers from a small farm and something, or unless she was German, or you know what I mean? Would nobody care because he's seventh in line? And not to say that he's not, but and that's not to say that he's not worthy of attention. But like I was saying before, sometimes you don't have to try so hard because you already got it. Harry already had it. Harry Ben had it. People have always loved Harry. So all of this extra stuff is unnecessary. That's how you know we function it in the system. Even if Harry were to get him some good white girl on his arm, because maybe that's what he liked, or maybe to appease the people, black women would still prefer Harry because that's just who they always preferred. I hate the idea that it's the mess behind him being with a black woman that all of this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I just rather not the black culture be involved if it's going to be confusion and fuckery. That Harry always been attractive, a full head of hair. When he did the thing down in Haiti with Rihanna, that was the thing. I mean, that really set it up. That really put everything in motion. Um, for both of them, Rihanna and Harry. Um, so all of that, but that's industry lingo. That's just not everyday stuff. Rihanna ain't being no Rihanna. People thought about them being together, and maybe they did like a light little canoodle. Who knows? Who knows? But she, Rihanna the Queen, she not gonna be 17th in line. You know what I'm saying? And following behind nobody. That's not what she gonna do. So, I mean, just to put that out there, just for the sake of saying. But then you get the Megan. It's just a weird. What the hell is her name? Megan Markle. Jesus, I called her McCain and Stallion. All of that stuff. What else is going on, y'all? It's so much. What else? Let me guide me in the conversation because y'all know how I get. Hopefully y'all been all right. I do hope. I know I've been gone for a minute. I'm at the jump off. I need to get back to the jump off, but here I am right now, and I am gonna put this on the live. I'm gonna put this on my YouTube. Make sure you check out my YouTube page. It is in the link in my bio. If you love me, you'll go do it right now. I need some more followers over there. I need the family to go right on over. I need the family to head right on over to YouTube. Because if they ban TikTok, what we gonna do? If they ban the TikTok, what we gonna do? Hot Ones is on season 21. They do these Hot Ones seasons like they do these Drag Race seasons, just one after the other, after the other, after the other. Do y'all watch Drag Race? I watched a movie yesterday while y'all wait for y'all to give me a topic. I watched a movie yesterday, last night, and it did not sit right with my soul. It just really didn't. But it wasn't a terrible movie, but it's just about perspective. You just got to be open. And it's called Soft and Quiet, I think. Nice and Slow. I think it's called Soft and Quiet. Yeah. Too many. And I really prefer I just watch recaps and I'll go on and I'll watch like Snatch Game and things like that, but it's just too much. It's called Soft and Quiet. If you want It's a good movie. It's a good movie because of the story. It's a good movie because it's unexpected. It's a good movie because it keeps you on your toes if I'm rating a good movie. But the one single lens, because it's all in one camera, like that Megan Good and Omari Hardwick movie. Did y'all see that on like Tubi or some shit? I don't know. One camera. That was dumb. This was a lot better than that. But if you are of an open mind and have a reasonable blood pressure, you might be able to find the enjoyment in this um good boys by way of women um story that is being told, and it just takes you on throughout the day, takes you through experiences and moments that just leave you questioning and wondering and gasping. And for that, it's a good movie. But to think that people are out there with malicious intent, nefarious acts, nefarious thoughts, and intentions, is categorized as a thriller horror film. And it is 100,000% a horror film. There is no devil in it. There is no goriness in it. There is no sci-fi supernatural effect in it. It is 100% realistic. It is 1000% horrific. And that is the part about it that makes it a little hard to even want to enjoy. But I did. Because once I got it started, I couldn't get out of it. It's called Soft and Quiet. It's on Netflix. Watch it if you will. Like I said, if you're open minded and your blood pressure is decent, you might be able to get through it. But if you're not, you won't. If you're not, you won't. To think, and then it might even get you mad. But you just have to be. I mean, it's just oh, open minded to how people feel. Open minded to think that you're not always right. Open minded to the way of the world. Just open minded of the things like that. It's called soft and quiet. These women, the girls, it's just it is a shit show. It is a shit show. And like I said, you start at a school and you end up in a lake. How do you get from the school to the lake? You got to watch it to find out. And then to offset that, because I couldn't go to sleep with that on my spirit, that type of energy. Um, I watched a movie called Invitation to Invitation to. Yep, it's on Netflix. Invitation to Murder with Shailene Woodley. Now I love Shailene. Shailene Woodley was in Divergent, right? And then I loved her in Big Little Lies. So she's locked in with me, Shailene. And so I watched it because she's in the picture, she's in the poster. So I watched that and I thoroughly thank you, Indira. Thank you, dearie. I enjoyed that. Just a good movie, good story, a good thriller, suspense thriller. It checked all the boxes. And a great distraction from that damn soft and quiet. Whew. That soft and quiet was a riot. Okay. So if Netflix asks, tell them I sent you. Um, talked about the Anna. Is that all? There's so many things. Shall I even touch on Jamie Foxx? Shall I even touch on Jamie Foxx and the way that the industry works, the people? Shall I even touch on it? Jonathan Majors? Shall I even? Shall I even? Jonathan Majors making good? Is it even minus swell? Is it even worth the? Let me tell you the thing about. Let me start with Jamie Foxx. I honestly think Jonathan Majors happened first. And when the whole thing happened with Jonathan Majors, my initial reaction, y'all know I be coming from the outer field, was that he upset somebody. He upset the apricot of people that sit in big leather chairs at big mahogany tables or big um, steel chairs and huge glass tables, whatever it is. It's all modernized now, whatever. The decision makers, the game changers, the things like that. He upset somebody. He didn't do the right thing. He didn't want to go to the eyes wide shut party. He wanted to flex a little, and they placed him in his place. And threw this scandal on him. This is after this. Everything that he's really been in has been successful. So he's making the money. And that's probably why he got a little too big for his britches. And I would say he probably get a little too big for his britches too because of the type of women that he likes. So he might find himself a little bit too comfortable in some places because too comfortable in places considering his relationships that he carries. Because shortly before Creed came out, we found out that he was even married to that white woman, right? Because she was on the set with him. With all of that being said, then Creed with the white woman. Then Creed comes out. I didn't see Creed 3. I don't know what he does. I don't know what his techniques are. I don't know anything about how that goes. I don't even know if I'll watch it now. Funny that Cameron said he wouldn't watch it because those two, and then whatever. But I'm just not in. Nah, whatever. So that comes out. He's boxing, obviously. Physicalities, physicalness, fists. Then it comes out that he was in a physical altercation with this white woman. For me, you not about to lay it out like that and think I'm not gonna have no questions. Because the thing of it is, for me, Jonathan Majors don't strike me as the type to strike nobody. He is big and muscly because they have groomed and conditioned him to be big and muscly. They have groomed and conditioned him to be big and muscly to appeal to, again, the African American culture, even though my sister said he ugly. But that's the thing about it, is that people like the ugly like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you can only get away with being ugly like that, with having the big muscles and things like that. Much like now, Michael B. Jordan, who did not rush to his side, who did not offer any condolence, who did not offer any support, because shortly thereafter he would be getting new deals, new campaign ads, big ones, and everything like that. Subsequent to the allegation, he was not. He's also not as attractive, but it wasn't until he started to bulk up. Same thing with LeBron James. Same thing with Wiz Khalifa. Same thing with the guys. You know, you get a little weight, you get a little muscle, you look a little different. Now the people really like you. They did that with Jonathan Majors. The success of Lovecraft Country, so much so, whatever, canceled. Him being inducted into the Marvel stratosphere, you know what I'm saying, that sort of thing. The success of Creed, riding on all of that success. Again, I've said this before. What is the situation where you're willing to risk it all? Especially when it comes to your wife, your girl, whatever the case may be, because I don't even think they're describing it as his wife or whatever. I could be misspeaking by saying his wife, but he was definitely with a white woman. And that's the one that was coming to the set. Now, was it the same one that was in the bar where all of this happened? I'm not sure. I could do more homework. But I don't even want to worry myself, because to me, it's not real. Point blank in the period. Not real. So now we're supposed to condemn this man, drop him from his labels, drop him from his endorsement deals, drop him from the sponsors, drop his management and all that stuff, because we're going off of the claim of something. And then this footage comes out that exonerates him essentially, and yet there is still no recoil in all of the action that was taken against that man. And not for nothing, that black man, that talented and diverse black man. And then Jamie Foxx slips into a ditch. I don't know. TMZ, we've discussed this part. TMZ pay the people to be at the courthouse, the bar house, the hospital house, the nut house, and the nut house. Okay? So that they they employ the people so that they get the tea first before anybody. Not many things go on, especially in the City of Angels, but over on that side of the country. But that's the thing about TMZ. TMZ New York, they all over. There's nothing that happens in the industry realm across the country and even over across the pond that TMZ don't know about before anybody else. Okay? So for Jamie Foxx to be shooting the movie and then took Cameron Diaz out of the things, If the damn TMZ got Khloe Kardashian getting off the plane after Tristan's mother died in Canada in Canada and no, what day in Canada? Chicago? Something. If TMZ was there to get that footage, there's no way in the world TMZ ain't able to get the footage or an understanding or a story on Jamie Foxx. If and only if we're part of the ploy. We're part of the story, or this is the intentional story that needs to happen. Even TMZ on the damn TMZ on Jonathan Major's story. This we had a bartender at the bar. But this is the intention. This is the story that needs to be put out. This is what we need the people to believe. Jamie Foxx slipped into this medical condition, and they're saying one thing, and Corinne is saying a whole nother thing. And then the media is saying this thing, and then Corinne is denouncing whatever the fuck the media is saying. He's doing the best. He's doing great. He's at home. Now he's in a rehab facility. And at the same time, now this is the part where this can't be true. It shouldn't be true. Him and Corinne coming out with a TV show. Why the two of them need to come out with a TV show, I don't know. Why Jamie Foxx is even reducing himself to television shows, I don't know. Jonathan Majors. Michael B. Jordan. We're switching in. We're switching in and we're switching out. I don't know. But you're not going to tell me that can't nobody find out what's going on with that man. When Michael Jackson died, is he dead on the gurney? When Whitney died, is a picture of her in the tub. You not about to tell me that they can't find where living Jamie Foxx is at or doing. T.S. Medicine said shout out to his camp. Shout out to everyone involved in the narrative. Shout out to everyone involved in the narrative. And at the end of the day, it's just a simple story. Just like Designer showing his dick on a plane. It's just a simple story. Jamie Foxx could be in the penthouse, who knows, in fucking Wisconsin, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You're just letting all of this stuff play out. But when that movie drops, the people are going to fucking watch it. And when the show comes out, people are going to run to see it because they want to see how he acts, what he's doing. If Jamie Foxx is dead, Corinne's credibility is shot. Because when Michael was going through what he was going through, granted them kids were a lot younger than Corinne is, but they didn't say nothing. Paris, they didn't say nothing for years. Until they did speak at the funeral. But they didn't say anything about that. And nobody was in their faces, and they weren't on social media discussing that. It would be a really extreme turn of events if Jamie Foxx is dead. At the same time, too, it would make the most sense considering the confusion that he had put the people through. Because there's no way that can't nobody find out what happened to that man. There's no way. First of all, Jamie Foxx black. So is somebody willing to turn on his ass? Okay? Let's just keep it funky 100. There's no way. And now, whatever this program is coming out with his daughter and whatever that film is coming out with Cameron Diaz. And I bring up the Cameron Diaz thing is because, of course, the people who want to see Jamie Foxx, of course, because not for nothing, he's one of the top black actors, if not the top black actor, until Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan take the spot of Jamie Foxx and Denzel. Either way, he's a top black actor. People want to see their interaction. People want to see what they're doing. People want to see a Cameron. People want to see those things. You know what I'm saying? So the paparazzo is on the fucking scene. They're on the scene. And if we don't even have a picture of him on set falling out, an ambulance coming, or him getting in the back of a sedan or a fucking Sprinter, If he gets to Mount Sinai, the hospital they all go to in LA, if he gets to Mount Sinai and there's no footage of him going into the emergency room or Corinne in the waiting room or anything like that, then he gets to a rehab facility. Because at this point now, people need the details. We talking chauffeurs, we talking nurses, we talking staff, fucking chefs, we talking maids getting offered 50, 20, 50, 70, $100,000 for some tea on demand, and we still don't got no picture. Because if TMZ don't got it, they're gonna push the people to get it. Okay? And we still don't got no tea on that man. He done been to the rehab house and we still don't got no tea on that man. But Corinne said, and now this show is coming out. Chrissy, I've been just here. Just here. I just ain't pressed the button. And now that's what they did because he was on the mend, came home on the mend. That's when Corinne was like, okay, I don't know what they're getting their information from. He's fine. Everything's great. And now he is in a rehab facility. And I get that. I missed you. Thank you. Um, um, that is, and that's just how you play it out. That's just how they have to, because it's all a production. It's all a fucking production. You got to know your lines, know your space. Okay. And for him to get back in the rehab facility, but then there's nothing of him in the rehab facility. You know what I'm saying? There's no phone. There's no family. There's no whatever. Now let's find that sister with the MS or whatever. I think she's worse than MS. I think she has a developmental disability. I could be wrong, but whatever. Let's figure out where the fuck she is. Because if anything, she would be she would be in a secure location. Exactly right. Kiki, exactly right. Something about pickleball. And me and my family was like, what the fuck does pickleball have to do with anything? Like, and I was like, what do pickleball have something to do with like dexterity? Like, what was even the point of even saying that? Just going so hard. Oh, did she oh, Jesus Christ, she didn't die. So now it's really up to this him and him and them two daughters. She had the downs. The pickleball, the significance of them bringing up pickleball, dexterity, so he's up and moving, and then it's like, okay, so this is a story. This is to happen now. He's back in. Please tell me what the hell that medical condition is. Please tell me what the hell it was, because let me tell you something. This ain't just a bump of coke. It ain't a bump of coke. I ain't did that to Jamie Foxx like that. Okay. And he was on the set of the movie, and he was in the throes of putting in production, so he wasn't out there partying because Jamie Foxx ain't no spring chicken. He been doing this. He played fucking Ray Charles, so he had to envelop himself in that sort of thing. He know what the fuck he doing. So you're not about to tell me some coke then laid our man out like that. And strung together this story of back and forth and in and out and up and down. How will they land this plane? Speaking of planes, we ain't heard nothing about Wendy Williams. I'm always keeping an ear out and an eye out. Yeah, his sister did pass away. I'm sorry, y'all. I wanna rock with you. Get back to work now. We don't want to get you in trouble. And let me tell you, and okay, now this is where we going, Natasha. Now I'm gonna bring Natasha into this because she sends me the things as I love for y'all to send me. Not don't send me memes and things and funny things and other people's whatever. But send me the tea, okay? You see a Wendy Williams tea, you see a blind item, okay? I'm all for that. Now, what I also took away from that was that blind item that my girl Natasha had sent me about that sex ring that Jamie Foxx and P. Diddy were involved in, that included Justin Bieber. I also went there with it. Coupled with the fact that Jamie, who the hell knows what Justin Bieber doing? Justin Bieber said something. Oh, that was Haley Bieber saying something. I wanted to have kids or whatever, but he's like really mum's the word. And then Diddy, the acquiring of the weed, and then Kim Porter, Kim, and Usher, Kim, the kid, and now the show and the thing. A lot of things are going on with Diddy and Jamie Foxx. I don't know why he would be the fall guy, but there's always a fall guy. And then Usher allegedly getting his ass whooped at the Lovers and Friends thing, but then Diddy just gets away unscathed every time, every turn. At the Met Gala, looking amazing. That was June Ambrose helped design that outfit that he had on. Him and Carisha looked great in pictures. Catch the tea. They look great in pictures. It was I was like I said, the Met Gala. This was one of the good ones, okay? But he walks away unscathed every time. He ain't said nothing about Jamie Foxx. Ain't nobody put a good word out about Jamie Foxx. Maybe Garcelle Bouveau. But what does she know? But at the same time, too, so this all this weaving together. You got to get Garcelle on there because obviously his day is coming in. It's going to be him and Kim going to fall on the same day, or him and Jay-Z going to fall on the same day, or in the same time. But it takes the person with the closest connection, because people will always, especially in the culture, will always associate Jamie Foxx and Fancy. They always gonna do that, right? So it takes Fancy to say, "Oh my God, I'm wishing her well," but at the same time, she's just wishing well. It's not like she's coming out and advocating for any type of conditioner. She's just saying, "Oh, I wish him well." So there's that. But then that takes me to, something always takes me to the next thing. That takes me to a video that I haven't done yet, and I need to do it. But at the same time, too, I'm glad I didn't do it because now Kim Kimora Lee Simmons talking about how she want to reopen the case, Kim Porter's case. And in my video, I was coming from the angle that they needed Kimora Lee Simmons, who was a fellow model and friend of Kim Porter, to validate and confirm the times that Diddy said were the times and dates that she had gone through the things that she had gone through. You understand what I'm saying? So now we're focusing on relationships and we're focusing on the people, the inner workings of the system. And now we have, these bullet points of moments. And my duty is to see how the bullet points connect, how the bullet points become dots. Catch me. That sort of thing. And then when I seen that thing about Kimora Lee saying that she want to reopen the case, and now the thing with Kimora Lee, which in the video and everything, is what that marriage to that man, the white man, that was involved in the Mandarin money stealing and all that stuff. So that all kind of comes together into a big melting pot of a shifting of finances and relevance and importance and things like that. Now, and that's the thing, a blind item about him exposing him. It's what do they call it? Mutually assured destruction. So I don't know what Jamie Foxx, even if he wasn't even doing anything, and Cameron Diaz been tight-lipped ever since she married that man. So she might be the one to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll do the thing just to say I'm doing something," but I ain't doing the damn thing. And when we ain't heard a word from Cameron Diaz. She was in the movie with him. She on the set with him. Tell me y'all heard a word from Cameron. So I'm not sure. Listen, rock with you, rock with me, rock with you, rock with me, okay? Because I said the same thing. Kim had access to the best health care. Celebrities get doctors to the house, okay? Michael hired his own. Killed him. Well, the doctor didn't. We'll talk about that some other time. Had the access to the best healthcare. Even if she didn't like her doctor, she could call up Kimura. She could call up Mary J. She could call up Misa. She could call up anybody, allegedly. She could call up anybody like, I'm going through this. Can you do it? Can you recommend? Yeah, girl, yeah, girl, yeah, girl. But it's the flu that take her out ahead of the coronavirus. I don't be saying nothing. I don't be saying nothing. I just be saying, okay? But that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Some things just don't make sense. I think it was COVID. Early stages. Was it COVID? When Kim died? Or Kim died, was it the first case COVID? Oh yeah, because that was October 2019. Kim Porter. I know my phone be getting tired of me looking up the same things. 2018. November 2018. It could have been the first stages because COVID-19. They said called it COVID-19 because it started in 2019. She went out of the country. Oh, Christ. And I also need a staff. I just need if I had a staff, I need 3 people working for free. I'll cook you food in the Kelly kitchen and you'll get, recognition on the platform. But we got to knock these things the fuck out, okay? Um, she went out of the country, and then Al B. Shore, so she could have caught it. If that's how they was doing it back then, sure. And then that's the thing too. Her sacrificial lamb for the cause again. Diddy involved at a higher level, um, because he continues to be unscathed by things. Um, like that makes sense. That makes sense. Not, girl, I was sleeping with the window open and I went outside with my hair wet and I done caught the flu and I just can't shake this thing. And Mucinex and NyQuil and the fucking IV, which they get while they getting their nails done. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. They ain't just won't shake it. And now I'm dead. Like that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And you wonder why? Because the celebrities will be dying of the flu all the goddamn time. They be half dressed, fully dressed in the summer, and half dressed in the winter. Okay? They all be sick. Kim would be sick. Cardi be sick. Rihanna would have been stricken. Okay? Just this past pregnancy. And she is starting to show this stomach a little bit more in this new pregnancy. I wonder if she's going to have that baby on my birthday, June 14th. She had her baby. Speaking of Rihanna, name that baby RZA. I just don't know why or what for. I'd never heard. She had on the damn Wu-Tang shirt coming out her favorite restaurant when she first took that baby out. Just like Beyonce had on that blue ring. Well, shout out to you, but you're a Cancer. Um, like Beyonce had on that blue ring, and everybody thought she was gonna have a boy, but she ended up naming her girl Blue. And then, um, what is Giza? um, and then when she came out, remember when I said she got the nets on and just the Wu Tang thing? Easter eggs all the time. And I was like, what the fuck does Wu Tang? Do you remember when I said that? Because I think I was talking to y'all about that. I said, what the fuck does Wu Tang have to do with anything? Because she was going to name her damn son RZA. I just don't like it. And I hope she don't. I just don't. What do you name your daughter after you name your son RZA? She went out of the country. Quincy on live the other day and refusing to answer questions about his father, yet falls in line. I believe it. Now Quincy should be saying a lot considering his father just went through everything that he went through. But let me tell you something. Have I ever seen a picture of Quincy and Al together? Albert B. Shore? Have I ever? I don't know. Something like Jamie used to go to the parties and once. Uh, you know what? Jamie too long in the game. And sure, maybe it might get overwhelming, and then now you have your daughters coming into the industry. I'm just trying to flesh that thing out. You have your daughters coming into the industry, and you know what they'll be encountering and the things they'll have to do to have success and longevity. So that might get overwhelming. But at the same time, too, you too long in the game. We talking Jamie been in this thing 30, 40 years, right? To know, to not, to think that you can upset the apricot of the glass table sitters and not think that that's not going to come back on you, or sacrifice yourself for the success of your daughters. That's where we at. Oh, just well, I guess you're right about that. Not Ghostface. Woo, Jesus! I just wasn't expecting. I had the name Augie upset up there. Augie, I thought that was far fetched. But it's the same thing. RZA, just a bunch of letters strewn together. RZA, he don't look like no RZA. I just don't know. That I be deep. I be ocean deep sometimes. Speaking of ocean deep, did you see they had some new images of the Titanic? I swear to God, if somebody don't, if they don't leave that damn ship alone, because if they not bringing it up, shut up, shut up about it. If you're not gonna bring it up, don't bring it up. I don't care about these new remastered images. And also, that Titanic been down in that water. When did the Titanic sink? In 1912. That thing been down in the water 11 101 years? 111 years? Is that right? 1912. I can't do the math. 2023. 111 years. If that thing ain't shouldn't be rusted over and fall apart and just now, it's supposed to, water withstand, build a ship that withstands the water and things like that. But even metal in the salt water, it ain't like it's sitting, even when your pool is chlorine, it's not like it's sitting at the bottom of a lake, some freshwater thing. But that corrosion on metal, on salt, from the salt water for 111 years. And not to mention the whales and the megalodons and the things that probably have swam all up and through there or bumped up along it and things like that. And you talk about some new remastered images. Girl, let that thing, leave that thing alone. Why are we even bringing it up? Never forget, right? That that ship has sailed, okay? That ship has sunk. And then shouldn't somebody be worried about the icebergs over in that area? Or maybe it done drifted with the current. So how do y'all even find it? Why are y'all even looking for it? That's what the rich millionaires and the billionaires get to spend their money on. Killing lions in the safari and searching the fucking ocean blue for fucking things from 1492. Okay, it just like that just don't have nothing to do with the price of tea in China. It just really doesn't. 111 years. And it was still, as I think about it, and sometimes too, you remember how I told you guys, you have to watch a little of everything to understand most things. I think I put it a different way, a little bit more poetic the first time I said it. But you have to watch a little of everything to get a better understanding of a bit of everything. Watching this might not tell you the full story, and watching this might not tell you the full story, and watching this might not tell you the full story. But if you watch the three of those things, you might be able to piece together a more actual depiction of the story that happened. I use 9/11 as an example of that, and you could watch like Zero Dark 30. You could watch The Report, and there's something else you could watch too, a documentary or something like that. And some of them might not be touching on the things. One thing might not be touching on one thing, but this one thing comes from this angle of the situation, and this one situation comes from this angle of the situation. If you compare all of those, you might have a more easily threadable needle, that sort of thing. Um, and as to that point of phrase, the Titanic, I'd have to do the homework and say, where did the Titanic sink? Because as I'm looking at the picture, oh, rock with me, well, welcome. Um, as I'm looking at the picture, where did the Titanic get struck for it to be the bow broke or the butt broke or whatever, however the boat terms, for it to be sitting there like that? Another reason why it should have corroded because it was broken, whatever. 111 years down in the bottom of the salty ocean. Did you see a hey um that sort of thing. So when they talk about new remastered pictures, now it's like new details. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. And even in the Anna Nicole documentary, it's like, you don't know me. Well, you watch this for you watch it for new details. Some you did some because no, I don't expect people to follow celebrities and things like that in the way that I did or way that I do. Um, so when I watch it, I don't care. I know about Playboy. I know about Howard Marshall, and I know about the kids, and I know about the guys. But it's the other details, and it's the pictures that they show in there that kind of paint more of a better picture for better understanding. Because other than that, they'll veil over the things in the basic storyline of harlot, stripper, gold digger. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. But if you look at how she acted and responded, if you look at how Hager, if you look and listen to how Howard J. Marshall reacted with her, responded to her, around her, when he spoke to her, things like that, you can paint a better picture of what could be going on more realistically, other than like what is the propagandized story. Why are they saying they have found zombie virus in some old iceberg? Well, no. Now we talk about the permafrost, Tasha. Now we talk about the permafrost, okay? And I believe that. And as the ice caps begin to melt, Antarctica begins to unthaw, the Arctic, whatever, begins to unthaw, things that have been frozen, from plant microorganisms to amoebas, those are all microorganisms. All those things will begin to come into the air and be reintroduced to society, essentially. Just like two things, two movies that I saw. You got to watch a little of everything to get a better understanding of everything. The Pope's Exorcist, that demon wasn't released until they broke into that basement. It would have stayed there had it not been. Okay. And then in Evil Dead Rising, that demon would not have been released unless that boy went down and opened up that book. You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about the permafrost, now this is a couple years. I feel like that's pre-pandemic. I heard them refer to the permafrost and what could be released when in the melting of the Arctic. If we talk about global warming and we talk about the permafrost, they push this global warming idea, but global warming, okay, it could happen. It will happen. And like Candace Olson, Dillard Bassett, whatever these women, all these women got the same damn names. Like she was saying, the global warming is a real thing. Is it something to be concerned about? No, because it's just what's going to happen. There's nothing that's going to change that changes global warming itself. The problem, global warming, is the bee. The beehive is the issues that come from global warming. The permafrost, microorganisms, zombie, whatever virus, things like that have been washed away, washed up, and where however they end up in that area. Woolly mammoths, fully intact, frozen. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Like that's some real shit. You can keep the demons locked up in a room. And that's the thing about spirituality. Not religion. Spirituality, different spiritual practices and things like that. One good spell, like in what you call it, the Pope's exorcist, he says prayers are better in Latin. Now we're getting into verbiage, terminology, intention, and things like that, origin. And the power to bind, the power to cast out demons was a thing, obviously, because they've made so many movies about it, so you can't think it's not a thing. Different tactics and techniques were, and that's what I got from watching the Pope's Exorcist. Different tactics, different techniques for different exorcisms to exorcise every demon was different. To bind a demon was prayer or whatever they did, and wherever it was sent to is where it is, unless they kill it, whatever the case may be. Can you keep it? And I'm not saying dramatic effects of the movie, it was behind the wall, whatever, but to cast it out and then it remained dormant somewhere is a possibility until something happens and then it can find a host and it does do the things. And I think about that all the time, especially as I've gotten older, because like I said, I was into the Egyptians, sarcophaguses and mummifications and being buried with all of their gold and things like that. That is nothing that they did back then that they ever wanted people, nosy ass millionaires and tourists, to come back in and excavate, because that was when they buried them people. First of all, what they did was not in English, so we don't know what the fuck they said, right? It was done in a way of sanctity, based in extreme practices of spirituality, and sealed with a fucking brick so that nobody would ever come and disrupt the space, because you don't know what is inside the space. The Pandora's box. But no, people just go in. And the thing is, just like the movie will say it's behind the wall and come out in this way, you don't know how that spirit comes out of the space that it was trapped in, or incanted in. I don't know if that's the phrase, but you know what I'm saying. To then come out, it could come in a tsunami. It could come in a whisper. You just don't fucking know. And I speak about it like that because they make so many of these movies. There's an Exorcist movie for every year. There's 2 Exorcist movies every year these days. So obviously we've been doing some exorcising of something. And then when you look at movies that depict the Egyptian culture and things like that, spiritual, and by the power of Ra, and all those things, the eye of Horus, all of that. Like that is such a deeper, more prevalent thing than what they even put in television. Because, like I said about the royals, the crown, and the royals, they have to romanticize some things so that it is even palatable for television. Because if it's hitting over the head, first it makes the people are probably majority be confused by it. But two, it puts a bad light on the people that they're showing. So we have to show some elements of love and compassion and things like that because people respond well to that sort of thing. They always unearthing things. I love the line in the Meg when they say, "Oh, well, we're gonna kill it," and the scientist says that's the problem with the world. They always find something, they discover something, and then they want to kill it. And that's just, they want to kill it, do things with it they don't need to do with it, and that's where the phrase "curiosity killed the cat." You know what I'm saying? Has a bit more, a prominence. I say complacency killed the cat, but it depends on the situation that you're in. Because that's the thing, the curiosity killed the cat. You don't know the damn archaeologists, scientists that went down and unearthed the first, tomb, opened up a sarcophagus. That is deep, that is deep stuff. The whole ritual of even mummifying. Do you not think? And another thing. Now, X-Men is a bit extreme, maybe. Okay, maybe. But X-Men, where they with the mummy came back, but they fell on the earth that fell on them first. But it took one nosy person to shine a piece of light to send the thing down to the thing and anything. Like I said, it could be a bit extreme, but it's that type of behavior. It's those types of actions that scientists and archaeologists do. And like I said, sometimes too, it's not even the archaeologists or scientists in a quest for understanding, because I feel like sometimes they do understand those things. Like I said, it's those millionaires and it's those billionaires that it's like, oh, we have the money and the means, and I have some, on the lam archaeologists or on the lam scientists that's willing to do this because I'm paying top dollar. Period. No, all of it is a very all down in the CDC. And I don't know how many CDCs is it in the world. It's just one in Atlanta, right? And why would it be in Atlanta? How many? Oh, how many CDCs are there in the world? Is the CDC worldwide? The CDC works worldwide 24/7 to protect the U.S. The U.S. Is the CDC works worldwide 24/7 to protect the U.S. from disease threats. Disease knows no borders. This is from the CDC.gov. I'm gonna read that again. The CDC works worldwide 24/7 to protect the U.S. from disease threats. If it works worldwide, I don't know how it is only there to protect the U.S. I don't think, and let me tell you something too. Maybe another movie reference, another TV show reference. People, a hot commodity, okay? People are brilliant. Scientists, smart, naturally and able and inclined, and some are upstanding and aren't and can't be bought. and some are willing to line their pockets for whatever reason. And sometimes you find the pocket liners, Anthony Fauci, really willing and ready to create, scare, implement anything that needs to be done to manipulate the story, the narrative, the people. Because I'm no pathologist, okay? I'm no scientist, okay? But how many diseases is it really that come in organically down in the Amazon? But there were no diseases in the Amazon, no. Down in the Mojave, coming out the Nile River, coming out the waters of, you know what I'm saying, the shores of Hong Kong. Like, what the fuck is going on? Where did the monkeypox go? Right. Well, it turned into the new variant, and that's the thing. Now, if they just calling the COVID the flu, and that's the thing about we done went into this whole mass thing. The best thing we got out of it was the PPP loans and the extra. So some things came out into the stimulus, but even still, that is a distraction. And people know, you all, and what we know from watching even these celebrities, they still, because Ellen was always talking about how she played the damn lotto, had all the money in the world, was still playing the damn lotto. So money appeals to everyone, okay? And it distracts everyone from what is really going on. But if the CDC works worldwide, why is it only protecting the people of the U.S.? It should have safeguards and flagship locations at every coast, like in every country, at the very least every continent, because that's only 7. Maybe, definitely, you might need 2 in Alaska because of the damn permafrost. Again, we function. What is the reality? What are we really functioning into? Same thing I said about the way I always want to pull something over somebody's eyes, and I have to find the details. I'd have to look it up. It should be public knowledge. If Anna Nicole, again, we on Anna Nicole. If Anna Nicole Smith, I knew when I watched it, I could dissect that for days. I knew after finishing it. If Anna Nicole Smith married that man, J. Howard Marshall, there is no way. And she was misguided and naive, as the girl said, her lover, to not know that, let's say he's in a conservatorship situation. In that case, he wouldn't even made it to the altar. Okay? To not know that he really the conservatives, because that would have limited his ability to make any actions. Obviously, we know that from Britney Spears, and then that documentary dropped about her. TMZ again. To limit his ability to make any actions for himself. So he wouldn't have even been to go. It wouldn't even been what he wouldn't have been able to do was file legal documentation to marry her officially. And what they had was a simple ceremony in a banquet room somewhere. So when it comes to the court cases of her not being able to get his money, she was never entitled to the money because she was never married to the man. Now that's what I said. I need to look up and see if I got if it's a marriage license and things like that, because even in the marriage license, now I'd have to get into Houston, Texas law. But I even think Texas law, like California, is 50-50, prenups or not. So what is all of this? She was married to man for his money, but she knew she was never going to get any of that because she was not legally married to that man. And never ever was her name Anna Nicole Smith Marshall. That's why they keep digging all up on it. They think treasures are in the tombs of Titanic. And that's the thing they do. They're looking for treasures and whatever artifacts, or when it comes to information and the development of information and things get revealed because people like me are nosy and be looking into things. It's like, okay, we might have to go back down to the Titanic because there might be this ring, this watch that indicates, like you said, J.G. Wentworth and things like that. The Titanic sank. If the Titanic sank because of a deal that they didn't want to go through between the banks, what the fuck you think 9/11 was about? Because we're so reckless that we need the world to look after. Well, not reckless, we selfish, 100%. But I mean, selfish is a percentage of the country to make that decision to think that, especially because if okay, China, COVID started in China, well, there should definitely be a CDC in China. No, were they trying to exhume her and Daniel? I don't know. I don't know. Um, between the drugs, the methadone, and that's the thing. And that's what my sister said. She was like, if Anna Nicole Smith died of a cocktail of drugs, she would love to know what the drugs were. But it could be, whatever. And that the way they depict it in the documentary is that she just had a glass jar, multiple different kinds, at least 3 or 4 different kinds of pills in there. You could just tell by the size and color. And if she just grabbing those things, and then with the thing, and that's the thing about playing it out, like we discussed earlier about the Jamie Foxx thing, like this, and he's back in the rehab and things like that, and then he's now off the horse, whatever the case may be. And Anna Nicole was fine until she was just about to have a baby, then she loses her son, and now, so like I was saying, the stories are so repetitive that they're not even significant anymore. So the question is, why are we even here with this? Um, exhume her. Same thing with Daniel. Exhume Daniel. He died hours after the baby was born. Hours. It was never. It was, and that was always, that would be the tragedy. A girl, because you have to watch the documentary. When they show that, when they bring her father into the picture, well, first her lover says she got on the drugs because of she got her boobs done. Probably the first time she got her boobs done, and then she went on the Vicodin and the things and the things and the things and the things. Then she says she was always on drugs after that. Then she success. She gets the guest. She gets the Playboy. Then they find a father for her. If it was her actual father, who knows? But what they did was paired her with that man, and he completely obliterated any idea of what she thought, which they said she created in her mind, fabricated these stories in her mind of what her father would be, how he would be. And she met a man that claimed to be her father and completely obliterated that idea, which would send her then spiraling. Um, and that was the Anna that we knew from then on the drugs, coherent, incoherent. Her security guard said she was always in control. Just because you're not coherent, don't mean, or not, I want to say not coherent, but just because you're a little loopy or slack jawed, you know what I'm saying, in phrase, don't mean that you're not in control, to not know exactly what's happening with you, or to not know exactly who's around you that you can trust, or whatever the case may be. So all of those factors, I don't know what exhuming them would show, but exhuming them would put Danny Lynn in the spotlight. Again, I'm waiting for her moment. Exhuming them would put Danny Lynn in the spotlight. It would bring Larry Burkhead into question. It would bring all these things into question. Howard Marshall, Howard Stern, the guy, not radio Howard Stern, the guy she was with, who was probably gay. And that's the thing about the documentary too. If Anna Nicole was lesbian, which A lot of strippers and girls like that are a lot more very bisexual, a lot more female inclined. She was simply with J. Howard Marshall because they were comfortable together. He didn't have any relationship with his family. She didn't have any relationship with her family. He was their relationship was mutually beneficial in the fact that I had this connection to this rich man and she had me. I had this eye candy. Yes, it's on Netflix. I have this eye candy and I have this meal, not a meal ticket, but I have this cash cow. Because, like I said, if he's a shrewd businessman and he don't have no relationship with his family, of course, when he negotiate them deals and with Anna Nicole Smith with the lawyers and agents and things like that, he's definitely getting a 5% finder's fee, maybe even 10. Because Chris get 10. He definitely getting some of that. So the relationship was mutually beneficial. It wasn't about it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about any of that. She wasn't fucking that man. I definitely get a weird vibe because he's weird and she looks sheltered and then he parades her out. It gives it gives Kendall and Kylie in the early years where they would just be stuck in the headlights with their looks, well, like their eyes and things like that, and not now where they have this presence about them. She just hasn't had a presence about them. I might even venture on to say what she should be. She still has that virgin aspect. I don't think he does anything. I don't think he does anything with her like that because I just don't get that in the pictures when they post from Kentucky Derby every year because that's where he met Anna Nicole. Um, and this is just for me watching documentaries and watching things, and you know what I'm saying, getting a little bit of everything to make sense of to make some sense of things. Um, but the dynamic is weird. Just like I said, he parades her at Kentucky Derby, but they don't get any pictures of her anywhere else. So he's very intentional on the images that come out. Like just this past Kentucky Derby, this is what they did. This is what they had on. Look at his tie. Put her in all that makeup to make her look older, hair look older. She don't look 16. She look about 36. There's no reason she got to look like that. But he's obviously getting her ready, like Jamie Foxx did. Um, like definitely got he definitely because if anything, the that glass filter don't translate well when I get to show you all the pictures. But if anything, first of all, he was already like he was paparazzi. So he already was connected to some degree. Just like in the documentary when they said the paparazzi, Howard Stern, her lawyer, worked in the same building as the paparazzi did. So he was already involved. So whether he's going to Eyes Wide Shut parties or can even host parties of his own where the coke is flowing, you know what I'm saying? And he might be in, think tanks of that, that sort of thing. But like I said, the hair, he's still stuck in the early 2000s. And if that's all image control so that he doesn't seem intimidating or even gold, not goal driven, ambitious, you know what I'm saying? That sort of thing, that's what it is. And then at the same time, he's this lowly dad who hasn't got his hair done in 20 years, raising this bombshell, you know what I'm saying? And then when she flips the script from this and she starts to look like a fucking Kardashian, I just don't know what that next. I just don't know what happens after that. I just don't know what happens after that. She's 16, Lisa. I just don't know what happens after that. She's gonna get a lip injection. They're gonna do that thing like they did with Kendall Jenner and just smooth all of this out. Get her a good brow on. Smoke them eyes out nicely. She gonna be cold. She gonna be cold as hell. She gonna be cold as hell. And then we're looking at this girl, my new friend. She posted on Facebook how stunning Anna Nicole was, and I figured she was watching the documentary because you don't see nothing about Anna Nicole. And I was like, yeah, she was stunningly stunning. And as I'm sitting there watching, I was like, Anna Nicole was beautiful. You know what I mean? And then she had a daughter that looked just like her. I don't think they show Anna's dad, but there was no way that was Howard Stern's daughter, because that's just not it. She looked like this Larry Burkhead looked like the father of Daniel. You know, the blonde hair, just an American white guy. And that is what fucking she is. That is what Anna was, just all American. And you know what I mean? That sort of thing and that look. And that is what we have here. So that's that. A bunch of theories. You know, I don't be saying nothing. I just be saying a couple ideas, something for you to chew on, something for you to think about. If you're going to think about it, but I know you will, because some people be like, oh, London House, this, and then I seen that, and I thought of what you said. I seen that, and I thought about what you said. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the space to even be considered in the thoughts and the things that I say. I'm gonna get out of here because I can't have this too long, because then I don't got no space on my tablet to transfer it over to put it on the thing. The 5 hour videos, the Monique video, which is 5 hours, I'm still trying to chop and screw that and make it make sense. Even though I do have a couple things. From Diddy to Demons, we be all over the place, but in the same at the same time, it's all in the same thread. We're just trying to get through the needle, put the thread through the needle, and you got to make it make sense. And sometimes it's not that hard because it's all coming from the same place. We talk about these celebrities in the industry, and it's all rooted and stemmed from the same tree. So it don't take much to make it make sense outside of what the media pushes out. The media is all, you know what the media's got one job. Got one job, propaganda only. News, the word news is neighborhood entertainment, neighborhood entertainment, weather and sports. Nothing is, it's not as organic as you think it is. It's all orchestrated to make us talk, to make us believe, overlook, and be consumed in the entertainment of it all. But I do love y'all for being here with me today. It's been a while. I'll be back again soon. I'm just sure of it. I'll probably drop my hair next night. Didn't nobody ask me to drop my hair like I did before, so I'm not going to do. Like I said, I put the hair down. It becomes the topic of the video. So there's that. And I will see y'all again next time. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it so much. This is how we do it. We kick it. It's a vibe. We're not doing too much. Like I said, I'd love for y'all to get down in the comments and engage. Let me know. So guide me. Not guide me, but drop, tug on. Don't stay away too. No, I won't stay away too long. I can't. I say that now, and I mean it. I mean it. But I'd love for y'all to drop into the comments and tug on the wheel a little bit, because one thing y'all seen me. One thing lead to this, and we be talking about Queen Camilla and RZA in the same damn breath. So next time I get on, call your friends. Make sure you share it. Bring them on too, so they can get a part of all this juice and this tea. But until next time, you guys, I will definitely see you sooner rather than later.